Hello! In this session we are continuing with the tenses. Okay, in the previous session we talked about present tenses. In this session I would like to speak about past. As I said, on this grid here is now, and anything that happens before this time or before this second is past. So, very simple. In order to show the past, the verbs in English language are divided into two big groups, regular and irregular. Actually, 95% are regular, only 5–10% maybe, I don't know exactly the number. Very, very few actually, about a page or two, are irregular, and you have to just learn them. For regular verbs, we just add ed. You know that? So I can say for instance, I talked ed to my parents yesterday, or I taught, past tense of teach, right? A class yesterday. Okay, so simple past shows an action that happened in the past and finished, and time is clear. Please remember this, because later on I speak about another tense which is a very, very problematic tense, and you need to remember this piece of information. So, simple past in English means an action that happened in the past, finished, has nothing to do with now, and normally the time is clear. Now, again, I need to give you an explanation about the time. Please remember, when I say that time is clear, I don't mean necessarily you have words like 2 minutes ago, 10 hours ago, yesterday, whatever. It means the context sometimes clarifies the time. For instance, if I say in my childhood, I am speaking about a time, specific time period. Okay. So, let's go to the second past, and this time past continuous, obviously. Now, past continuous is used in two occasions actually. One is when two actions happen at the same time. One of them was actually happening before this happened, and probably will continue, but there is a kind of this interrupting, let's put it this way, the simple past interrupting an action that was actually happening. For example, let's say I was eating. So, I was eating, a continuous action, when you called, you phoned me. So, if you compare these two actions, you can see that the action of eating, this is how you should understand it, the action of eating can happen longer than called. So, called, telephone, rang, that one is actually shorter in the time that it needs compared to eating. Alright? So, I was eating when there was an interruption, when you called. We can use past continuous actually in another form, like this. So, I can refer to two things that were happening at the same time, parallel. So, there was no interruption, but they were happening at the same time. So, I could say, for instance, keep the same sentence. I was eating while or when you were doing homework. I was eating when you were doing homework. You can also use past continuous alone in saying, for instance, yesterday morning, all morning I was working on my project. So, the time is clarified usually, or in this case, another sentence acts as or shows the interruption for this one, or both the past continuous is used to show two parallel actions that happened at the same time. So 3 different ways of using past continuous. As you can see, as usual, we have, in order to form the past continuous, we have was or were, obviously, plus the verb plus ing form. Let us go to another past, which is not very often used, but it exists. So, past perfect. Past perfect is actually refers to an action that happened before another one. That's the only time we need it. So if I want to show that this one happened number 1 and this was number 2, I need past perfect. In order to make past perfect, I need had plus the 3rd form of the verb. So eat, ate, eaten, right? So 3rd form. So, for example, I can say, I had finished my work when you came home. Okay? So, I use past perfect only to show that this was number 1 and my simple past was number 2. Now, past perfect is not very often used for a very simple reason. I can basically, theoretically, use 2 past tenses. So I can say, I finished my work. When you came home, I finished my work. Alright? So this is absolutely possible, and it is legitimate and quite okay. And for this reason, we do not use past perfect so very often. Alright? But it is good to know about it. And use it when necessary. We do have past perfect continuous as well, but that tense is very rare, so I prefer not to use time on that one because basically not very often it is used. Okay, so to cap it all, past tenses, simple past, something happened in the past, finished, the time is clarified, past continuous, a past continuous and a simple past as an interruption, 2 past continuouses at the same time, 1 past continuous with time span. Past perfect, if you want to show that this happened number 1, and there was another past which happened after that, and in order to show that you use past